My job is to be a professor at Montan University Leoben. I'm the head of chair of subsurface engineering, which is geotechnics and underground engineering, focused on infrastructure projects. For the moment, I'm also the head of department of Zentrum am Berg, which is a research and education and development center, as well as being the head of department for mineral resources engineering. But my focus is subsurface engineering. I was going to school learning to be a civil engineer. From that, I was looking for practical work in tunnels. And from that, I got, let's say, a feeling I must go in tunneling. And then I was searching for a university available for studies focused on tunneling, underground engineering, and it was Leoben. Then I did my mining and tunneling study there, did my PhD there, focused on tunnel boring machines. And from that I started to work with GeoConsult, which is a design consultant working on all around the world. So they have branches in Singapore, they have branches here in Bratislava, in Vienna, but also in Delhi and so on. The history of Zentrum am Berg, let's say, started in 2007 when I got a professor at the university. Coming from real projects like Brenner Base Tunnel or also German railways, I learned that we have to have a laboratory where we can test everything in situ, test and also develop the things in situ which are not able to be done in a laboratory. Can you imagine to do blastings in a laboratory? Can you imagine to do all the drilling tests in a laboratory, but also the other excavation technologies? So there was really a need for scientific research in an in situ research center. The other point is also we have to, let's say, train our students, but not only the students, also the staff for a tunnel in a real scale underground structure. And this is Zentrum am Berg. And there are many fields which have to be studied there. There are some countries in the world who are at the beginning of this stage to start to, let's say, create big underground infrastructures. And I like the experience from those countries and the mentalities from those countries bringing together with our experience, so it's a nice job. We always invite pupils, so children in an age of about 16, where we show that technical studies are of interest. Because we have the problem that most of them would like to get a medical doctor or a lawyer, but too few are interested in technical fields, and we hope that we can show that technical studies are of high interest and are fascinating things. We are giving tours on a regular basis on request of typical technical fields. Surveyors were here. Many fields are coming. The Czech Republic Underground Association is coming. So if there is a request, could you please show us what you are doing? When you look to the guidelines in Europe, it seems that the fire gets a different temperature depending on where you are in Europe. This, truly spoken, cannot be. So what we would like to find out is what are the real fire loads in case of, for example, a bus starts to burn, or a train gets burning, or a lorry gets burning, first of all. Then we have to train the fire brigades under real conditions. What we are doing right now is we can do tests in real tunnels, but with only high smoke and little fire, not the full megawatt which you have in case of a real fire. So this is one focus. Fire brigades training should be very well established for all who are interested. There are other fields starting from geotechnics, geology, going to the equipment of tunnels. Equipment of tunnels is changing very fast, because in earlier times, you might remember, we had green and red light for the train. There is no green and red light anymore, because we have the European train control system containing very new equipment tools. So we are going from geophysics, let's say it this way, to the equipment of a tunnel. Everything what is in between is a focus of this research center. We should transfer the gained knowledge in tunneling, which is quite good here in our country, as we do tunneling for years. In my opinion, there is no other way than to go underground. If you look at the big cities around the world, What should you do? Where should you create infrastructure? If you would like to avoid stand in a queue with your car, you have to go underground. So the underground field is very bright, is most cities new, so I think there's a bright future for underground engineering.